The spiritual, chemical, biological elements of life are spirit, light, air, water, and minerals. Spirit, light, air, water, and minerals are the essential elemental requirements for life. For example, for plants to grow, these are the essential elemental nutrients they need. Spirit, light, air, water, and minerals also compose the structure of the universe with regards to living planetary environments. All-encompassing spirit contains and emanates light, as in the light of God, heaven, halos, auras, and divine beings, the biblical phrase "let there be light," the concepts of enlightenment and illumination, the New Age phrase "light and love," and the sun, which many ancient peoples deified. Light contains and emanates air. The photochemical interactions between sunlight and atmospheres which absorb and are encompassed by it are essential to the formation of air. Air contains and emanates water. It contains water vapor which can form clouds and rain, and encompasses lakes, rivers, and oceans. And water contains and emanates minerals. It contains dissolved minerals, and lakes, rivers, and oceans encompass the geological bodies of planets, the cores of which are condensed heavy metals. The structure just described can be illustrated using concentric circles as in the image on the left. Spirit, light, air, water, and minerals provide a spiritual explanation of evolution, too. The Earth began as rock, which signifies a mineral stage of evolution. Next, the Earth developed oceans and underwater life, which signify a water stage of evolution. Then, the Earth developed a life-sustaining atmosphere and air-breathing life that could live on land above water, including humans, which signify an air stage of evolution. And now, humans worldwide are awakening to a greater spiritual reality that involves subjects such as environmental sustainability, natural healing practices, ancient civilizations, reincarnation, ascension, spiritual abilities and planes, higher dimensional beings such as extraterrestrials, angels, gods and goddesses, and the Creator, and universal oneness. All things considered, including the previously mentioned relationship between light and spirit, and the order of the elements, it makes sense to think that this greater spiritual reality signifies an approaching light stage of evolution that transcends the present air stage, just as the present air stage transcends the past water stage, that an even more advanced spirit stage exists as well, and that biological, chemical, and spiritual evolution are one and the same. Spirit, light, air, water, and minerals furthermore form the organization of individual, separate entities such as celestial, heavenly, higher dimensional kingdoms, and their starship worlds. Pure spirit exists at the heart of their inner circles, just as monarchs and healers have traditionally been associated with divine powers, and the four subsequent elements are layered accordingly. One function of minerals, the outer layer, is to provide protection, as the shells of turtles, armor, shields, and swords of knights, military equipment, and walls of castles do. This structure too can be illustrated using concentric circles as in the image on the right. Spirit, light, air, water, and minerals suggest a definitive meaning to the classical elements as well. The classical elements, commonly identified as ether, fire, air, water, and earth, are a universal spiritual theme. They're emphasized in the spiritual philosophies of ancient peoples worldwide, including the Africans, Babylonians, Celts, Chinese, Egyptians, Greeks, Indians, Japanese, Native Americans, Norse, Persians, and Tibetans, and appear often in fantasy stories, such as those of Captain Planet, DC and Marvel Comics, Magic the Gathering, Naruto, and Pokemon. One explanation of their meaning is that they're the basic materials that compose all matter. However, there are many substances that don't seem to qualify as ether, fire, air, water, or earth. One example is dry ice. Another explanation is that they're the elements of nature. However, this doesn't explain the special significance of the usual 5 that are selected out of the many possible natural elements it seems could be identified. Also, it's not clear what the true identities of the classical elements are, as they vary between traditions. For instance, instead of ether and air, the Chinese elements consist of wood and metal. However, if you interpret ether as spirit as is often done, substitute sunlight for fire, which is sensible considering that the elements are supposed to correspond to the phases of matter, plasma, gas, liquid, and solid, and the sun is a plasma like fire, and interpret earth as minerals, a definitive meaning emerges. Spirit, light, air, water, and minerals are significant for the reasons mentioned earlier. Spirit, light, air, water, and minerals additionally correspond to the spiritual planes and bodies, chakras, colors, and more. You can find more information on the page of my site that I've linked to in the description of this video. In summary, the spiritual, chemical, biological elements of life are spirit, light, air, water, and minerals, which constitute the essential elemental requirements for life, compose the structure of the universe with regards to living planetary environments, provide a spiritual explanation of evolution, form the organization of individual, separate entities such as celestial, heavenly, higher dimensional kingdoms and their starship worlds, suggest a definitive meaning to the classical elements, and more.